What's this? Another person watching a video about moving from California to Idaho? Can you believe it? You're actually thinking about leaving, and now Idaho is on the top of your list. Well, that's probably because Boise is one of the hottest places to move right now. In this video, I'm going to talk all about what it was like when I lived in California and what it's like right here now in gorgeous Boise, Idaho. You ready? Let's do this. Hey everybody, it's your host here, Dave Baker, with your Moving to Idaho team. Now, if this is your first time on the channel, don't forget to tap that little subscribe button and click that little bell. Now, if you want to know everything about what it's like to live in Boise, Idaho, Meridian, Eagle, Idaho, and all the surrounding areas, you've got to reach out to us, okay? We want to help you fine-tune your move, find the place for you, and be able to make your move as smooth as possible. And it's really easy. All you've got to do, of course, is send me an email, send me a text message, give me a call 24/7, because we are here to help you with your relocation into gorgeous Idaho. Now, if you're ready to go and you want to schedule a video call or a conference call, just click the link in the description and get on the calendar today. So many people now are telling me that they are just fed up with living in California. They want to get out of California and they want to relocate to a new place. And I hear it all the time, and I understand. There's so many different things going on in California. And for you, it might be time for something new. But I'm going to tell you something that I understand from my own firsthand experience. If you're just thinking about it and you feel like it's a little bit hard because you're so used to California, I get it. I was in the same situation. I spent years in Orange County, California, and of course I also lived in Los Angeles County, being that it's only 50, 60 miles away. I've lived in both places. I spent a lot of time there. I was there a majority of my life, right? And whenever I would talk about leaving, people made such a big deal about it. It was like this, I was going to do something so significant that I couldn't even explain it. They're like, you're going to leave California? Oh no, what are you going to do? Are you going to go somewhere where there's a beach? Is there going to be a beach wherever you go? Then, of course, they always have to bring up the weather, right? Well, look, the weather in California is good, especially in Southern California. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking about coming up here from the Bay Area, well, it's a little bit different because in the Bay Area, you have very different weather. And if you're thinking about coming from Central California, like you might want to move from Bakersfield to Idaho, for example, once again, the weather is different. I think the people who are most concerned about the weather when they move are Southern Californians. So I want to tell you a little bit about the differences between living in California and living in Idaho. And it's different, okay? And that's why I'm making this video. So this will help you understand a little bit more about what I experience here, how it's different, and and also, hey, some things are going to be similar, right? Of course, anywhere you live, you're going to have some similarities and differences. But by the time you're done with this, depending on where you are in your life, your situation, if you're, just tired of the taxes, or you're a business owner, or you're tired of the high cost of living, whatever your reason is for wanting to leave California, well, this video will hopefully help you find out if this is actually the place where you're going to want to go. So what I want to do first is I want to dive in and talk to you about some of the things that are totally different between living in California and living here in Idaho. So, first of all, I just want to mention that right now I'm often talking about Boise, Idaho in these videos. And when you say Boise, Idaho, you usually mean a few cities. And if you're watching my videos, you know that already. You know that we're talking about Boise. We're talking about Eagle, which is a city that I'm standing in right now, which is very close to Boise. It's 10 miles away, 15 miles at a different part. And then of course Meridian, which is a significantly large city here in this neighborhood. And then there's a ton of small towns around here too. So, okay, let's start talking about some of the key differences. And if I say anything that catches your attention about what's going on in California, let me know, because I'm very interested, because I'm constantly talking to people and they're often complaining about something happening in California. It's like shocking. It's like there's news that comes out all the time. Do you know what I mean? There's some kind of news that comes out and I'll hear it or I'll read about it, right? And then all of a sudden I'll say, oh, I bet a bunch more people are gonna move. Oh, more people are gonna be getting out of there. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do while you're watching this video is I want you to soak in the background, okay? Now, obviously, I'm in a residential area, of course. I'm not in the business district. I'm not in the downtown of Eagle, nor am I in the downtown of Boise, Idaho. But as you're watching this, look at the surroundings, okay? The first thing I noticed when I came to Idaho was how clean it is. Seriously, it is so incredibly clean here. I mean, the difference is astounding, all right? Let me tell you something. When you see how clean the grounds are in the local neighborhoods, I think you are going to be so pleasantly surprised. Now, I have been to so many cities in California. Again, I spent years there, right? And the thing is, I can just rarely remember seeing anywhere that's so clean. And there's different types of clean, okay? Now in California right now, I'm seeing pictures of graffiti all over the place. Obviously, depending on where you live, you might be seeing a lot of tents now. I know people aren't a fan of that. If it's literally right outside your door. And even though you might sympathize with people's situations, sometimes for you, maybe it's a little frustrating and you don't want to see it exactly where you are all the time. And it's hard because there's a balance, but it's just something that is a reality for a lot of people. So let me just turn the camera around for a second. This is just one single neighborhood. I want you to take a look. This is just a glimpse of how pretty everything is, all right? So if cleanliness is a big deal for you, and I don't just mean graffiti, right? Obviously there's no graffiti here in the residential neighborhood, but it can be more than that. It also means that, the streets are clean. You don't see a lot of litter here. I mean, the amount of litter that I see here is minuscule, even when I go to downtown Boise. Now, when I think of going to downtown LA, or I think of going to San Francisco, right in the city, yeah, it's different. I mean, the level of cleanliness here is, to me, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's usually a 10. And I really like that. It makes taking these walks great, which I love walking. I love going out and enjoying that stuff. And I think it's something you might really like too when you're out here. Another thing that you're going to notice is that there are a lot of new houses out here. I want to walk over to an area here and show you some of the beautiful new houses. Now, California has new houses as well, but not so many. There are different rules and regulations that prevent you from building a new home, right? There's all kinds of red tape and stuff I hear about. I don't know every detail, but it is something that I hear about. Take a look at this. Look at this scenery. So you might be thinking that I'm on some huge lake. No, I'm not. I'm in a neighborhood with a lot of homes that were built in the last 5 years where they have these beautiful water features. I might need to talk a little louder over this one because one of these beautiful features is behind me right now. Check that out. Imagine going from somewhere where it's, generally a bit dirty, right? Or there's things on the ground, or there's other problems going on in your neighborhood, to something soothing and serene like this. I mean, it is a huge change, okay? And seeing all these new houses means that you get some other new features in your neighborhood, right? So as they develop new neighborhoods, you'll see that they put in new sidewalks, new roads, and a lot of beautiful new landscaping. And again, this kind of goes with the cleanliness thing, but really it's an overall environment change, right? I feel like when I talk to some people in California, they feel this stress. And maybe you're feeling it and maybe you're not. But obviously I know a lot of people there. And I just feel like they have this different kind of stress that you don't feel here. So let's talk about that too. Okay, another issue here is that this stress factor is probably something you don't want in your life all the time. Now, stress can come from different things. Of course, it could be coming from your work environment, obviously, but that's different than your living environment, right? So what I'm talking about here is the feeling that I have right now as I stroll around the neighborhood. So when I walk around the neighborhood here, we're going to combine the cleanliness I discussed with the feeling of extreme safety and the beautiful, well done and well manicured neighborhood. Take a look again. Let's turn around. Look at the streets. Look at how nice it is here in Eagle, Idaho. And this is just one place. Now Eagle has a lot of new developments where the developments are significant, meaning you could have 30 homes to 200 homes or more. Maybe you have hundreds of homes. But a lot of cities have this. Eagle has it, Star, Idaho has it. You see it in Meridian too. Meridian is much more developed than the other cities. It's a larger city. But when you get to walk around a place like this, it's so relaxing. I want to take you over to another one of these lakes. They actually refer to them as ponds, to be fair. So they're not huge lakes, but living with a view like this or just walking by it is so relaxing. Again, it feels like there's overall less pressure. And okay, let's talk about that a little more, because this thing with the pressure that I hear about and overall a weird feeling of negativity I get from some people in California right now, especially those who are trying to decide if they want to move somewhere. Let me show you one more quick shot of the pond. You know what? Living on something like that is not too shabby. Okay? It's nice. It's beautiful. So the pressure that I hear is often from small business owners, of course, who are tired of different rules or regulations or taxes and things like that, and that may or may not apply to you. But there's another feeling here. It's a vibe that it's a little hard to explain if you're coming from a place like California where you have, for example, so much traffic. Here in Idaho, you do not have so much traffic. Okay, when someone here complains to me about the traffic, I often use this expression where I say, oh, that's amateur traffic. You have never been on the 405 freeway. You have never been on the 101. I'll bet you've never been on the 5. And just imagine that at rush hour, right? I often talk about that. And they say, well, rush hour is just an hour. It's no big deal, right? You'll have rush hour for 1 hour, and then there's not much traffic. I say, oh, no. You haven't been to California. You don't understand what I'm saying. I'm talking about rush hour being 4 hours long. So let's go back to that vibe and that relaxation feeling I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about is when you have no traffic, okay, when you want to go somewhere and it's easy, it makes it more enjoyable. If you're watching this video and you have a long commute, well, then you know what I'm talking about. I've talked to so many people who tell me they have to sit in traffic for 90 minutes or almost 2 hours sometimes. 2 hours. 2 hours in one direction. Imagine if you had to drive to work. Let's say you lived here in Eagle, or you lived out in Star or Meridian. Let's say you had to drive to Boise, right? Let's say you drive 10 miles or 15 miles. Imagine doing that leisurely. Imagine not feeling rushed and feeling that pressure. Oh gosh, it's so different. The last time I was in California, I forgot about the traffic for a minute. Silly me. And I was supposed to go somewhere. I think I was going to meet someone, or I was going to pick up food. I can't remember exactly what I was doing. And I was late, okay? I was so late. Because, why? Because of the traffic. There's local traffic, there's freeway traffic, there's traffic like on every street. It's shocking. It's not that common. Now here's the deal. When I lived in California, I thought that was normal. No, seriously, I thought it was normal to sit in traffic for an hour or, try to drive from Orange County to Long Beach and have it take 50 minutes. You know what it turns out? That's not normal. That's not average traffic. That's a lot of traffic. So when you come out here, you're going to feel more relaxed if you had to deal with traffic before. Now, of course, I want to be fair. There's a lot of growth going on. So when you have a lot of growth, you're going to have more cars than they were prepared for. And that's understandable. So there is a little bit of traffic or congestion from time to time. And that's very, very uncommon. So, okay, let's talk more about some of the key differences. Obviously, I did mention the weather. Look, let's talk about it again really quickly. I've talked about it in other videos. I just want to touch on it. If you're coming from Southern California, you're used to it's always 72 degrees or it's often around 80 degrees. It's not like that here. Look at what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing a sweater, right? Interesting, because you can see that the sun is on me. So some people might think to themselves, why is this guy wearing a sweater if it's sunny out? Well, that's because one thing that I notice during 2 seasons of the year is that it's sunny but cold, which is something some of you might not be used to. Now, if you're coming from Northern California, I understand that you might be used to a lot of gray, kind of like the Pacific Northwest. And if you're coming from Southern California, well, you're not used to ever not having a beautiful day, right? There's a limited amount of rain. It's very different. Central California, you get some rough parts of the weather. It gets really hot in Central California and it's dusty, so it's very different. But I don't think the weather is something I'm prioritizing anymore in my life when I think about where I want to live. So, having lived in a few different places, as I stair-stepped my way out of California, I had to come to realize that the weather is not something that I can really prioritize that much anymore when I'm deciding where I'm going to live. Just waved at someone, of course, because people here are friendly. Let's jump right into that. The attitude here is so positive to me. Okay, this applies in a lot of different ways. So, first of all, people are just generally nice here. And I mean that on many different levels, okay? When I go to a restaurant, of course, people are nice. They don't seem like they hate their job. Have you ever noticed that when you're ordering food somewhere in California and you feel like the person doesn't really want to help you? I understand not everybody loves their job. Not everybody loves what they do all the time. But it's such a different feeling here. And it's not easy for me to convey this through the video. But I have to tell you, let me tell you about my own experience first, okay? So I get up here and I have like no furniture, barely any furniture. I have just, a little bit of stuff that I was able to bring with me. And there's a furniture shortage going on, so, it's not easy. I don't exactly have a lot of tools with me. I brought some stuff that I had readily available, but I didn't have a ton of stuff already with me. Okay, immediately, my neighbors saw me. They came over and said hello within like a day or two. They came over and introduced themselves, and the first thing they said, you know what it was? It's, can I help you with anything? Do you need anything? Do you need me to lend you any tools? Do you want to borrow some of our furniture? I have to stop for a second. These neighbors offered to let me borrow some of their furniture. And I don't just mean inflatable beds, okay? I'm talking about actual furniture. This was like, I can't remember people being so nice and so helpful. It's not something that I'd experienced before. So right away, I felt welcome. And I know some of you have great neighbors, and you're very lucky. Honestly, if you have good neighbors, and you're really lucky, and make sure that you all appreciate each other. Now more than ever, take a minute just to say thanks for all the things you've been through together and done for each other. But when you're going somewhere new, okay, you have to understand, for me, it was a big change, right? I was moving somewhere, I was getting a place where I knew like one person. I'd maybe have an acquaintance or something else too. But when you move to somewhere brand new, you've got to have people around you who are, inviting and welcoming, and it makes things so much easier with your move. I mean, it could be the littlest thing. I had some weeds in my front yard, which, by the way, can be a big deal if you live in a neighborhood, right? Especially one like these neighborhoods here where everything is so beautiful and well manicured. And they immediately offered to either pull the weeds for me, which was just too much. I mean, that's just too much. Or to give me different kinds of equipment to help me with my bushes and that type of stuff. I mean, can you believe that someone offered to pull my weeds for me? That's just too nice. I mean, I didn't let him do it. Don't worry, I did not let someone do that, okay? But that's the type of experience I'm having. Now, I think that's from a few different things, right? One, they don't have those pressures I was talking about earlier, that stress. I've created this thing, I've been calling it the California stress, because so many people bring stuff up to me that I don't hear about in other places. And then also, I think it's just Idaho is filled with nice people. Seriously, the people here are so nice. It's so different. And I see it everywhere. I went to an office. I went to some type of event. It was a small event. It was really spaced out, because of everything going on. But people still made an effort to be as social as they could and be friendly and be inviting. And it was really nice. And it made me feel welcome. And people were asking, to exchange phone numbers and saying we could meet up one day soon. And it was so fast. So, over my lifetime, well, tell me how you feel about this, okay? Remember when you were in high school, or maybe if you went to college, or wherever you went to school, you would make new friends every quarter, every semester, right? It was a different life we were living. You're young, you're always meeting new people. It's so different, right? But now, as you get older, you really depend on either going to work or meeting people locally. And let me know what you think. What's your experience like with that? Are you out of school? Have you been out of school for 5 or 10 years? Do you find it easy to make new friends where you live, or do you find it difficult? I've talked to quite a few people about this, and I definitely think that living in a place where people are super friendly makes it easier to have like your own community and just to create a feeling that you can really enjoy, right? So we've talked about a few different things. Okay, we've talked about the cleanliness. We touched on safety. Let me go back to that really quickly. Safety, I can't tell you how safe I feel here. Okay, now, I'm not going to tell you that I didn't feel safe in Orange County, generally speaking. Okay, but here, it's a whole different level of safety. The way you feel here is incredibly different. I don't worry about forgetting to lock my car. I don't even worry about forgetting to lock my front door. And have you ever felt like that before? Have you ever lived in a place where you thought, oh my gosh, I didn't lock the door, I better get up and go lock the door right away? I mean, have you ever thought to yourself, oh, who cares? I didn't lock the door. Oh well. I left my garage open by accident. This is such a different feeling here. It's like nothing I've ever felt safety-wise. And when I talk to other people about it, they say the same thing. Most of the people I meet say, yeah, it's super safe here. We don't think about those things other people are talking about. But why is that? Okay. Well, that's because you're 500 miles from almost anything. So people aren't going to just drive out here and maybe cause trouble or, it's a big commitment to come here. Think about it. The next closest major cities are going to be Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, and Salt Lake City, right? But you're talking about 6-hour drives. Or I guess you could be in Salt Lake City in 4.5 hours if you don't stop. Or maybe 4 hours if you're some kind of super race car driver. But realistically you're far from things. And I'm going to talk about that in another video about moving to Boise from California. That's another difference you will have to deal with, is that you are far from things and what that means for like your shopping and other experiences that you might have. So let's just finish up with what we covered in this video. I want to make sure that you have a chance to reflect on these things before you jump into the next video where I talk about it even more. So we've talked about it's very clean, okay? So you've got cleanliness, you've got safety, which is amazing. You've got really nice people, okay? Nice, helpful people. And it makes a big difference. We've also talked about another thing, which is that you have a choice of a lot of newer homes. I mean, Idaho obviously has been a state for a long time. Boise has been a city for a long time. Eagle, Star, Meridian, they've all been around for a long time, but they didn't have the population growth, right? And because they didn't have this population growth, they have older homes, but they have a ton of newer homes built in the last 10 years, 5 years. There are homes being built today. If I would have walked the other way, I could have showed you more homes that are being built right now. New homes. Yeah, they're still building them. Now, when I lived in California, a lot of neighborhoods have been around for a long time, and it's so heavily populated that there's not really room for that many new developments. It's not that common to see it. So, these are the first things I wanted to talk to you about when it comes to moving from California. Make sure that you watch part 2 in this series, because it's a big deal right now. And look, if you're thinking about leaving California, I get it. And I want to be there to help you. Our team wants to be there to help you. Guess what? Other people have also moved here from California. And so we get it. We know what you've been thinking about. We know about some of the things that concern you. And that's what we're here for. So look, if you're thinking about making the move, and let's say you want to fly out. Hey, do you want to fly out this week? Let us know, okay? You've just got to reach out, okay? Send me an email, send me a text message. You can give me a call, okay, 24/7. And if you're ready to like schedule a call with a team, and you want to sit down and make a plan and think about heading out soon, great. Schedule a call, get on the calendar in the link below. We are all about helping people move out to Idaho. When you come out here and you see it, I think you're going to feel a lot of what I felt. I hope you do. Right? Now, don't worry. I'm going to also talk about some other things in the next video that have come up too. Questions like, hey Dave, do they have sushi in Idaho? Or is there anything to do there? We're going to talk about those things too, because we have to address them as well. There are a lot of differences, and I want to make sure that I share that with you too, because I think it's really important. Now, as I've been walking, you'll notice the background has changed, right? Oh look, a field. Yeah, a field. That's right. The whole state and the whole city and this whole area called the Treasure Valley are not super developed completely yet, so you're still going to see things like this. But that's okay, because you know what I feel right now? I feel relaxed. It feels good. It's a little windy today, if you've been looking at the trees. So this is something, if you come into the fall and the winter, you're going to notice it's sunny, it's cold, but it's a little windy, but it's still really nice out. Because I think about other places, right? I'm always thinking about the Northwest. I have this affinity for the Northwest. And of course a lot about Las Vegas, because if you watch my videos, I love Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a part of my life as well. And if you're thinking about coming up to the Northwest, this isn't the Pacific Northwest, okay? This is just the Northwest. You don't have the gray skies. You don't have the rain of Portland, Oregon. You don't have it from Seattle, Washington either. And if you're watching this video, you might be thinking about moving from one of those places to Idaho. And it might be similar to the problems going on in California. Okay, so what are you gonna do? Make sure you subscribe real quick, okay? Tap the little bell. It makes me feel good. Leave me a comment below about what you'd like to learn about, what you want to hear about, how I can help you, and then make sure you reach out. I'm here for you. Send me a text message, give me a call, send me an email. We want to help you. I want you to come out here. I want you to have the feeling that I have. I want you to be in a beautiful neighborhood, take a beautiful walk one day, and look around and think, wow, I can relax. I don't have the stresses. I'm not worrying about every little thing changing all the time. You're not worried about new rules coming in every day, right? That's the difference. Okay, I'm your host, Dave Baker from the Idaho crew. You know how to reach me. Can't wait to talk to you. And I'm going to see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.